viewers, you're still watching Nile Cruise, and from a very special place here in Cairo, from the Orman Garden, we bring you today's episode of Nile Cruise. And dear viewers, the Tourism and Antiquities Ministry has loaded a significant success achieved by the electronic promotional campaign it launched earlier this year, entitled Sunny Christmas. The ministry detailed in a statement in March that the campaign coincided with the Christmas and the New Year's celebrations and was completed under the slogan of Sunny January, making remarkable success in different social media networks in Egypt and a number of countries, including the United Kingdom, Germany, Ukraine, Italy, France, Russia, and the United States. And in this context, dear viewers, we have with us our very special guest, Mr. Ahmed Badr. A very good day, Mr. Ahmed. And it's a sunny, wonderful day, and it's happy to have you with us in today's episode of Nile Cruise. And in a wonderful place full of red flowers. It's cheerful, and we talk about tourism, which is a very important, of course, one main source of our economy here in Egypt.
Thank you very much for hosting me, and good day, cheerful, sunny day to you and to all the viewers.
Thank you, Mr. Badr, for joining us. Now, you, sir, as a tourism expert, how do you assess the new methods being applied by the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities to promote Egypt as a top destination?
Well, the ministry is doing a great job in marketing and promoting Egypt as a tourism destination, using the new methods of marketing, like Ms. Rana was saying right now about the campaign of Sunny January and Sunny Egypt, using that to promote Egypt as a destination for travelers from all over the world. At that time, we all know December and January in Egypt, it's real sunny weather. It's nice weather, especially in Luxor, Aswan, and the resorts of the Red Sea. So while if you're in Europe or States or Canada, North America, or even some other place in China and Japan, while they have cloudy, snowy, raining weather, that would prevent you even sometimes from going out of your home, you can come and enjoy in Egypt the sun, the fun, the weather, the nice weather. In the morning, if you're in the Red Sea or Luxor and Aswan, you can go just with a normal summer cloth, a t-shirt and a short, and enjoy the weather and enjoy Egypt, even if you're staying on a beach or going around the monuments in Luxor and Aswan, or even Cairo. So that will give you the pleasure of freedom, of going and enjoying your time, your life, your weather. So, and also having that with the other new methods of using the social media. We all know now the power of the social media of marketing anything from tourism to cooking to even products. So now with the influencers and the bloggers, the ministry also invited many times travel influencers and travel bloggers from all over the world, from Russia, from Europe, from States, even from Gulf states, to come and write about their experience in Egypt, which had a great good impact of having more tourism to Egypt, especially after the time of the COVID. We all know we stayed almost a year with no tourism because the whole world was closed. Then when we reopened, putting together these campaigns with how we dealt with the pandemic itself, and how we the numbers of Egypt, the infected people were lower than the rest of the world. So that gave, and also with the vaccination campaigns, especially having these campaigns for the people working in tourism, that gave Egypt a boost for tourism to come back to Egypt, and we witnessed that especially from beginning of last September 2021 until now. Tourism was back to Egypt more stronger and more faster than we thought before. So I have
Good to hear.
Mr. Ahmed, how far is the inauguration celebration of the Avenue of Sphinx boosted the classical tourism?
It had a great impact alongside with the Golden Mummies Parade.
Yes.
Both events were, I have to say, amazing. We received a very positive feedback from all over the world, from our agent, even from our friends. I had phone calls from my friends around the world. Some of them were crying, seeing something like that. It was so good. They did it so good that it had that impact, especially for the Avenue of the Sphinx inauguration and celebration. It gave a good boost, although right afterwards we had this another wave of the Omicron, which affected tourism a little bit in a negative way, but still this celebration gave a very good boost. So for all travelers coming to Egypt and going to Luxor, they all want to go to the Avenue of the Sphinx, and they all want to walk, even if they don't walk the entire 2.7 kilometers, but at least they go through half of it, and they go back. So having events like that and having more attractions, this will come back in a positive way to tourism and to the economy of Egypt. So this is what the whole world do. So there are places in the world you go, they don't have 1/10 of what we have, but they always create landmarks, they always create attractions, they always create events to attract people from all over the world. We have the history, we have everything, so it's just how we use them and how we market them.
Right, Mr. Badr, and of course the Royal Mummies Parade last spring, and the Avenue of the Sphinxes Parade also last autumn with the attendance of His Excellency the President were great events that really helped boost Egypt's tourism. I want to ask you about the upcoming events that we have. We are expecting also in the upcoming period some very important events. Perhaps first thing that comes to my mind is the GEM, the official inauguration of the Grand Egyptian Museum. So talk to us about that and about other important events that we are expecting that should also play as a booster for Egypt's tourism.
The Grand Egyptian Museum, this is long-awaited event, not just from us, but from all over the world. It was supposed to be opened end of 2020, but of course it was postponed since
the COVID-19, of
yes,
course, was the reason.
Since the announcement of the gem and how big it will be and how the collection, because for the first time the entire collection of King Tut tomb will be exhibited there. So I think that was maybe 5-6 years ago. So 5-6 years ago, the whole world is asking when we want to come. When are you going to open it? So there are so many people or so many countries, and so the whole world is really keen about this event. They want to see it. They want to see how Egypt will do in it. This event by itself, it is, I would say, the greatest booster for Egypt, not just for the tourism, but for the tourism, for the economy, for the soft power of Egypt. All these things, it's coming back to us as a plus for our soft power. It's what would help create what I call Egypt mania. If you succeed to do Egypt mania around the world, not just for history, but for for food, for culture, for the life of Egyptians. This will help you to bring more and more and more tourists to Egypt to see not everything, to see the people, to see the food, to see the monuments, to dive, to fly over the pyramids, which recently we had events of parachuting over the pyramids, which was a huge success from from skydivers from all over the world. They wanted to do this many years ago, and finally we do it. So all these things, this is what helped us to promote tourism. It's just how we will welcome them and the infrastructure of the tourism in Egypt. It's there. It just needs a little bit development. In some areas we want more hotels. But this will come with time.
Sir, an Italian designer decided to celebrate the 50th anniversary of his brand in Luxor. Could you please comment on this?
Not just him, we have another one who is coming
Yes,
almost end of the month to do his show, the international show for the collection of next year. So again, that gives you an idea
It's
about
gonna be at the pyramids, I think.
pyramids and Luxor,
No.
both. And before we had celebrities came to Egypt to celebrate their birthdays or parties or engagement parties. So again, that gives you an idea about the importance now of Egypt in
Mr.
the
Ahmed,
world.
but I think these designers will bring with them celebrities,
Yes, of course. Yes.
which will boost, of course,
Definitely,
tourism and
yes.
enhance tourism. and-
Celebrities always they go, let's say, go together in a direction. So if a celebrity went somewhere, the others will be encouraged to go the same way. Like a few years ago when we had Will Smith came to Egypt,
Yeah.
afterwards we had other celebrities followed his path, and they came and visited Egypt. The Italian designer celebrated his birthday, so we had another Italian designer who is coming to do his fashion show. A few years ago we had an international brand also came and did the photo shooting of their fashion collection at that time. They came and they did it here in Egypt. So these are what I call a free publicity to Egypt, a free marketing to Egypt. It's when people see such celebrities, such high-profile people coming to Egypt, and they enjoy and they write about it, they will be encouraged to come. This will help us to have more. This will help us to waive any bad thoughts or bad ideas about Egypt that was in the international media during the past years. We had after the unrest starting from 2011, we had some bad publicity around the world. So these things helping us to waive these negative thoughts.
Mr. Badr, I wanted to ask you how would big sports events being held here in Egypt, or big international conferences and such things, how would they also help boost tourism? And we're seeing much of that lately.
Well, it's known worldwide the conference tourism or events tourism is a big chunk of tourism worldwide. Even if we're talking about the normal conferences, I mean medical conferences or events or sports events. If you look, let's say for example, something like the World Cup or the Olympics, countries are fighting together to win, arranging for World Cup or Olympics, because of two things. First of all, it's it's a very good return of investment and money. And second, it gives you a huge publicity all the world for almost a month. During the period of the event itself, sometime after, sometime before. So, and we saw that in the World Cups in Russia and Germany and South Africa, and so, or even in Tokyo Olympics, the last Olympics. So arranging these events like we witnessed in Egypt 2 years ago in the African Cup of Nations, and then later with the Handball World Championship, which we introduced the idea of the health bubble for all the teams, and everybody is dealing with them to go into this bubble, and they don't go out until the tournament is over. Then the committee of Tokyo 2020 took this idea and they did it in Tokyo Olympics last summer. So that was a huge, great success, for Egypt. We introduced this idea, and soon we will have the weather conference in Sharm el-Sheikh. I think it's November, end of this year, around November 2022.
The COP27 Climate Exchange Conference,
Exactly, yes.
which is one of the most important conferences that we're going to be witnessing this year.
Exactly. So
and we're all awaiting in November.
definitely. So you will have the whole world coming to Egypt in this conference. The presidents, the kings, the queen, all the heads of states, and with their, the people coming from them, with them. That would be a huge publicity to Egypt, and I'm sure it would be a huge success for Egypt to arrange for such a conference. So again, these conferences are definitely very, very important in terms of economy and soft power, as I always say.
Very true.
Sir, it's worth to mention that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has moved, of course, with the help of Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, Dr. Khalid Daanani. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has moved tourism from a category to a different level of tourism, as in reopening and opening new, of course, museums in places like Uganda, Sharm el-Sheikh, Upper Egypt. All these, in the light of the coronavirus pandemic, has made Egypt move into a very different level of tourism, which enhances, of course, the economy of the country.
Yes, exactly. It moved Egypt more and more to be a destination for the upper clients. For the Egypt for many years was considered, unfortunately, a cheap destination, but now it's not that anymore. So for me, I'm happy with that. I'm so much happy with that, because it's not a matter of how many visitors they come. For me, it's the matter of how much they spend. So the more they spend, the more we get more benefits, of course, especially with the culture tourism, for people going to visit all our amazing sightseeings. In terms of having these monuments in a good condition, we don't want big numbers, but we want people who understand and appreciate, and they need and they can pay for visiting them. And also having more openings of museums, like you said, in Hurghada and Sharm and many places. That's again adding up to the landmarks and the attractions for people coming to go and visit. It's people used to go, let's say, go to Sharm el-Sheikh just for the sake of the beaches and water and the sun. But now they have more attractions. They have a museum, more attractions to come. I know they're looking for other things like the project of St. Catherine, and make it a more attractive destination for travelers. So travelers will have more attractions to go and see. So having more attractions always, this is an ongoing thing. The countries are always do it to bring more tourism and even to bring the tourists back, because definitely if you're a tourist, it's not enough for you a week or 10 days or even 2 weeks to come and see everything in Egypt. There are many things, especially with the new cities that we are building right now, the new capital, New Alamein. You will have more attractions there. You will have something like Disneyland in New Alamein, and another one in the new capital. So new attractions, definitely this will bring more and more and more tourism, which again will be good to our economy.
Sure. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this segment, dear viewers. On behalf of Rana and myself, we thank very much. On behalf of you, of course, we thank very much Mr. Ahmed Badr, tourism guide and expert, for being with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Badr, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you very much for your informative knowledge.
Thank
it's always
you.
a pleasure to have you with us.
My pleasure, and thank you very much for having me.
Joining us in a very lovely day, a sunny day after all. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Dear viewers, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
سلمولي على مصر، سلمولي على الحبايب